Hey guys, welcome to a new video of Russian Fishing 4. I made a video showing the basics of spin fishing, but I wasn't totally happy with it afterwards. I noticed that I was a bit rushing through it. So in this video I'm gonna explain it, I hope, more properly for you guys. I will be deleting the previous the basics of spin fishing. This video will replace it. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to purchase a spinning rod. I did it obviously because I did it in the previous video, but I'll do it step by step so you guys can have a look at it as well. So first up, let's scroll down and move on to the rods. So if you're low level, if you do not have a lot of money, then this would be your very first choice. Express Fishing Corona. Here we have the S60MH, meaning it's medium heavy power wise. Then we have the S66. This one is 20 centimeters longer than this one. Here we have the S66H, meaning it is a heavy power, 2 meters long. And then here we have the S70H, and it is 2.1 meters longer. So what do we need to look at first? What are like the key factors? Well, one of the really important things first up is to check load capacity. So these two are 4.5 kilogram, whereas the rest is 5.5 kilogram, and this will determine what type of reel we're gonna put on. So that is first up, the first thing that you need to look after. Second thing is tests. So it's already shown here, but then here again, and this will determine what weight of lures we are gonna be using on this rod. So if you have, like, say, a 4-gram lure, the rod will not work as properly as it's intended to be. If you put on a lure that is too heavy, you can actually break your rod and your cast will be much shorter. But it's the breaking part that you need to worry about then. So lures, when you want to attach those to the rod, make sure that they are within the limit that is set by the test. Then length, that means that if you have a rod that is slightly taller, longer, then it means you can cast out a little bit further. So that is actually the difference between these two. Weight, obviously, the more it weighs in the hand of the fisherman, the more energy it will consume. And well, that is basically it. I think then price is what matters for you guys. So I think I purchased this one, the S60. I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look. No, S66 is what I purchased, and I did that for the length. So over here, and then this one is what I purchased. I did want to have my test between 20 and 30. If we go here, you can see that test is between 15 and 60 gram. And I found that the starter lures that we'll be using are mainly like 10, 12, 13 gram. So that's why I did not opt for that one or for that one. And I stuck with this one. Then next up, we need to go for a reel. Now, what you need to look at is here our load capacity is 4.5 kilograms. So we need a reel that is a little under this number. In particular, when you're starting out, you cannot afford like fancy ways that higher levels can do, like put a reel on it that's a lot stronger, for instance, or put line on it that's a lot stronger. So let's move on to reels. Now if you're again short on money, then this is your very first one that you're gonna purchase. It's a very cheap reel, mostly made out of plastic. Do not even think about repairing it because it's only $9.50, and when this one wears down, at some stage the repair cost will be higher than actually just buying a new one. So here, the 3 kilogram. Now if you have a little bit more money and you have the 5.5 kilogram rod, then you can put a lacerty on it, or lacerty. Depends a bit. Some guys call it lacerty. I tend to call it lacerty. Yeah, so the main thing is check if the max drag does not exceed the max load capacity of the rod. That is what you need to look after. Then after that, we need a line. Now you can opt for monofilament, you can opt for fluoro, but I would recommend braided line. The reason for that, braided line has lesser elasticity than monofilament and then fluorocarbon. Now if will be targeting predatory fish, you want to set that hook straight away. The moment they bite, the moment they jump on your lure, the moment they strike, you need to strike as well. And if you put monofilament line on it, the line will actually sort of extend itself a bit, absorbing the power of the strike, meaning you do not set the hook properly. Same goes in a somewhat lesser extent with fluorocarbon line. So braided line is what you want. Now we got braided line in a variety of colors and qualities. When you start out, I would suggest to go with just a super braided line, 4.5 kilogram. It is a bit stronger than our reel can handle when we start out, but it is currently the most cheapest line that you can get with the lowest load capacity here. If you have a little bit more money, then you could opt for like this one, the hybrid line, 3.5 kilogram. Again, it's a bit stronger than the reel. The reel is 10 kilogram. So 3 kilogram, sorry, not 10, 3 kilogram. So this one will be half a gram, exceeding the friction brake lock of the reel. Therefore, it is a bit better, but it's also 10 silvers extra money. And then, like I said, we have various colors. Now, colors, obviously, some are more visible in certain waters than others. I would recommend here, because I'm starting out on Mosquito, to go with like green or go with black. The water is pretty murky. Gray, sorry. The water is pretty murky, so fish will tend to not see it as good as if you were to say like get yourself an orange one or get yourself a blue one. I would recommend blue actually for lakes like Quarry, where the water is so clear that the fish can really see the line from afar, and particularly when you go after species like trout and whatnot. Then I would definitely recommend like a blue or a white or a black. But yeah, so here on Mosquito and on Winding River, green will suffice. The water is a bit murky here. Grey will suffice as well. So get yourself one of those. I see that this one is currently sold out, so then grab yourself a green one. Now, next up, leaders. First, let's talk about those. So we are going after predatory fish with our spin fishing. That's the whole ordeal of it. And some of them got very sharp teeth, pike in particular, but there's also like from time to time where like a catfish can sort of grind through a line, or like Atlantic salmon, they got teeth as well. So in order to protect your line, you can opt for putting a leader on it. The cheapest leader you can get is 6 kilogram, however. Now, the current setup that I'm having, and I'll show it to you guys, here we go, is that my rod can handle 4.5 kilogram, my reel is 3 kilogram, the line is 4.5 kilogram, so if I would put on a leader that can handle 6 kilogram, that means that the leader is my strongest link in the entire setup, meaning if I hook into a fish that I'm real struggling with, and that's real powerful, I would not break off my leader. I would most likely break my reel, and then maybe break my line, and then break my rod. So I, at this stage, if you got like the cheap one, the 4.5 kilogram, I would not put a leader on yet. If you purchase yourself a 5.5 kilogram, I would, but still you're taking a risk. On the other hand, you're also taking a risk of not having a leader and a pike jumping on and just his teeth biting through that line in a second, and you will have lost your lure then. So yeah, it's I'll leave it up to you guys to make your own decisions in that one. I would advise for very start to leave the leader out with this setup. At the moment you move on and you go and you purchase yourself, say, where is it? This one, Express Fishing Dynamic, and say this one, that's 6 kilogram, this one 7 kilogram, for instance. then I would definitely put a leader on it. But if you want to be on the safe side, then grab yourself this steel leader. Okay, last but not least, lures. So at first, when you start, you have access to spoons and spinners. You can already purchase wobblers, but it's something that you need to unlock. Let's see, what does it unlock? Let's see here. Wobblers here, 35%. So yeah, that is gonna take us a long time. So first up, what do we need to look at? Well, the weight of the lure. Like I said, it has to meet the requirements that are set by the rod, the test. So this one's 30 gram, our rod is between 10 and 30. So this one would be good, this one would not be good, that one would not be good, this one would, that one would, that one not so much, that one does fit, that one is getting it real close, and let's see, we could not put on this one or the Satori, those weigh too much and we might break up. And then we have spinners. So some of them are like 6, 7, 3 gram, but 10 gram would be fine. 12, 7 not so much, 17 yes, 18 yes, but 4 for instance not so. So lures, what do we need to look after? Well, ideally you like to start with like 3 lures that have different color and a different shape, different size for that matter. The reason for that is that during bright days, you want to fish with light, bright colors. So like silver is very good, and I had a lot of fun with this one. Tiny spoon number 11, 13 gram. This one helped me out a lot on full sunny days. This one too, by the way, the tiny spoon 09, 13, because it has a bit of silver but then also a bit of green that makes it stand out. Now when it's raining or when it's dark, you actually want to move on to dark colors. That could be like the bronze, red, black, dark blue. Light blue on the other hand is again a color, so like this one would be optimistic, ideal for bright sunny days, whereas like this one would be the dark cloudy days, night times, and this one like the rainy days. It represents a perch, call it perch color as well. So those is what I would recommend. Now if you've got no clue whatsoever and you just want to take my word as advice, get yourself the Express tiny spoon number 11. Then grab yourself the Siberian Icon Fat M003. This is gold and this is good for like the dark days and nights. And then get yourself, let's see, this one and perch color. That is what I would start with. And then if you have some money left, get yourself 1 or 2 spinners as well. The deal with spinners is that they are great for night fishing, not just for fishing during daytime. You can use them very perfectly. But with nighttime, you get that there's less fish active, and most nocturnal fish have a bad eyesight still. So they need to see your lure, and to make them aware of it, something that moves, that vibrates next to just what regular spoons and whatnot do if you move it through the water. Here we actually have that hang on, let me grab that one, that there's blades on it and they will swirl around. And then here we got a nice treble hook with a little bit of fluff on it as well. That will cause vibrations in the water and that will attract predators. So I would definitely opt for getting yourself a spinner or 2. Now this one has helped me a lot on daytimes when it's rain and dark, but night times as well. So if you want to follow up my advice, get the Dragonfly Stream 4 number 03, the 17 gram. There's another version, or is it here, that is 7 gram, and that is not meeting the requirements of my rod. So I'll leave that one be, and I'll opt for this one. That one is good. Now if you want to do dark fishing, nighttime fishing, this one works as well, and full sunshine, daytime, yellow. that one will be perfect. So this one I found was a pretty good one. Then here, the dragon bells. That is pretty good as well. This one is awesome for night fishing. And this one, the bronze one, is more for like daytime, rain. And then here, this one, silver with a bit of dots, orange and yellow. That is nice for sunny weather. Obviously, just a regular silver, that one will do as well. And let's see, yeah, if you want to spend some more money, then I would suggest getting the spin shots. Spin shot 5 is nice. But anyways, so that is what you need at first from the start. Let's have a look at my setup. So I have the Dragonfly Stream 4 on it, and give me a moment, I feel a cough coming up. Thank you. I've got this one, the Dragonfly Streamer, and then the rest of my lures are these. I could not purchase the gold, but I saw the gold is back now. It has restocked, so let's grab that one straight away. There we go. I'm completely broke, so we do definitely need to catch some fish. So I got these two for the bright days, the sunny days. This one, the shape, that one actually attracts pike a lot, so I'm having that one as well. Then I'm having this one, a blue one, for dark blue, and the perch color, and then next to the red spinner that I have, and those are for like night times and during crappy weather. Okay, so with that, let's do some fishing. I see that I talked so long, we already passed the hour that fish become active. So it's full sunny day, and that's awesome because then predators are active. In general, starting the moment that the sun comes up, so around 4 AM in the morning, that is an excellent time to start spin fishing. And because it's such a lovely weather, let's put that one on. The pike tend to become very active at 4 AM in the morning, and then again you see an increase in peak, like say between 7, sometimes 6, 7 and 9 or 10 PM in the evening. Those are the peak hours. Those are the moments when like the regular fish, the panfish, like the minnows and no, we don't have minnows, sorry. The common roaches and the gibbles and all that kind of stuff become active. They start to feed, and that obviously attracts the predators. So another thing to know is that predators love to ambush. They really do. They like to hide and just wait for prey to pass by and then jump on it. So anything and everything that gives them cover, like reeds and weeds, that obviously is very good start. So let's cast out all the way over there. I'm pressing left shift so we can cast as far out as we can. You can wait a bit, so you let the lure sink, and then after a time close the bill, just like so. Just press the left mouse button, that will do. Now if you press and hold R and use your mouse wheel, you can actually change retrieval speed. I've noticed that during sunny warm days, I can actually set like speed to 20, sometimes even 30, or anything in between. 40 might work too as well. Whereas on the darker days, the days that are more cool, it seems that the fish are becoming a little bit more slow. So then I tend to work with like real speed 15 or 10, 12, sometimes even 8. So, but today we have a good day, so let's start out at 20. Now, there are different methods of retrieval. We can do just a straight retrieve like this. And let's see if that works. Obviously, the fish have already been active for a bit. That is the downside of starting the video at roughly 3 AM in the morning and forgetting that the time goes by so fast. So this is a straight retrieve, and we are not getting a message popping up above the stress bar that is giving us an indication that we are doing a certain way of retrieval. Let's see if we can fix that. Casting out again. And in the beginning, by the way, we will cast out all over the place. Even you aim at that spot and it ends up all the way there. That's part of the game. I'll go into that in a bit. So we noticed that that didn't work. At least not the first time. What you then can do is try and give like the reel 2 full cranks. And then wait like 2, 3. And give it again. 2 full cranks and wait again. 2, 3, and again. And depending on the reel speed, depending on the lure, depending on what line you're using, you will see that at some point a message will pop up that says jig step or stop and go. Those are 2 types of retrieves that you can do. The difference is with jig step, you actually let the lure hit the bottom, whereas with stop and go you don't. Stop and go, you let the lure remain in the water and not touch the bottom. There are several other retrieval methods. Speed up. Speed up is where you start to use the left shift button as you retrieve. It will give those short bursts of retrieval. Now here we did not succeed in getting the retrieval message, and now I'm accidentally in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set retrieval speed to 25 and see if we can make it work this time. Let me lure hit the water. There we go. 1, 2, and wait. Wait. 2. Sometimes you can just also just 1 full turn of the crank and then wait a bit shorter, or wait a bit longer. Instead of waiting 2, 3 seconds, wait like say 6, 7 seconds. Still no message showing your retrieval. No worries though, in time you will get the hang of it. You got to fiddle around a bit with the retrieval speed. And with how long you pause in between. Eventually you will get there. No worries, if it's not popping up, it doesn't mean that you'll not be able to catch fish. You will. Most definitely. I'm gonna swap to, let's try that one. Okay, now next to reeds and weeds, what are other good places? Well, let's get you guys over here. I've noticed that when it comes to pike, there's one thing they love to hide under. That is dead trees. Right here, we have a spot such as. So we're gonna stand on one of either side, doesn't matter which one. We do need to be careful though, because we can get a snack. Let's hope not. But let's cast out all the way over there. And then let's retrieve just along the side of this. And there we go, jig step touching bottom. I think that at the docks where we were just standing is that the water was too shallow for us to do a proper retrieval. But here we go. And if I don't want it to touch bottom, I can lift up the rod a bit, like so. And hope I'll do a bit faster retrieval, so it's not hitting the bottom. On fish. There will be times where it's hard to catch fish on spinning. One of the reasons for that is you are hunting predators now. You are not waiting for the fish to come towards you when you're just fishing with float fish and you got a bait on it. You're waiting for carp, say, or roaches or tench. You are going after the hunter, and they 9 times out of 10 do not swim in schools. They don't love to hang out with others. They prefer the solitude, and there are less of them than that there are other, say, sheepfish. It's just one wolf against a whole horde of sheep, and you have to target and find that wolf. And there are so many factors that come into play with spin fishing. That's why if you are only focusing on spin fishing, the game will be a bit harder at first. You really need to get tuned in with weather, time of day, and the places that you fish. So you give it a couple of tries. Don't give up after just 2-3 casts. Give it like 10 casts. If you're not getting anything, then change something. Change the lure, change the reeling speed, change the reeling method. And if it's still not panning out after another, say, 10-20 tries, only then do you start moving spots. And like I said, whatever time of day, it's currently free, so we should be seeing some activity a bit soon, and I do hope that we can get a fish on. Now, there's one thing that I have seen a lot of comments about, and that is perch. Why do I ever catch perch? Why are there so many out there? That has everything to do with the behavior of perch. Now, perch are one of the exceptions. They do swim in schools, so once you catch one, there's a big chance that you'll be catching more of them. And next up, they are very aggressive. They are very territorial. They'll even attack their own kind if need be, and they'll cannibalize it. They will attack anything and everything. It doesn't matter what type of lure you throw at them. It doesn't matter what speed you throw it at them. The moment they sense something in their vicinity and they do not agree with that thing being there, they will attack it. I'd say they are pretty much related to piranhas sometimes, and the way that they behave. If only their teeth are a bit less sharp. But yeah, they're definitely a species. Let me crank it up. Let's try it 30. They're definitely a species that you will be catching a lot, and it doesn't matter where you are, which lake or which water body. They'll be everywhere, and you can hook into them fairly easily. Okay. So yeah, so far this spot is not panning out as well, and I think it's not so much the lure and the retrieval speed. I think it has everything to do with time of day currently. It's 20 degrees, pretty warm. They already fed earlier this morning. The rest of the fish are now chilling down in the shade as well, waiting for the water to cool down a bit so they can do their feeding. But let's move on to another spot. So this one, good. Got a couple of logs in the water, pools, and then lily pads and reeds. Come on, let me through. By the way, this walking that I'm doing, store your rod, please. Just as in real life, if you keep bashing your gear into trees and whatnot, you might end up breaking it. Here we go, this is another spot that I'd like to fish at. There are reeds here, and that means that we can get a snag or two. Let's see, let's try the silver one. Let's cast all the way over there. Wait a bit. Next to the log. There we go. Let's do a couple of straight retrieves, see if anything jumps on. Now, when you're fishing in rocky water, rocks, those are a great place of hideouts as well. Any foreign object like barrels or a broken down car or stuff like that. Yeah, it's a place where fish likes to ambush from as well. And like I said, certain species prefer a higher reel speed than other species. I've noticed that with burbot, I tend to catch those. You can catch them, by the way, on spinners and spoons. Pretty good as well. They tend to go after a lower reeling speed, whereas like pike and asp, those species, they love it when a lure passes them by, like ziff, and then they'll kickstart in and chase it. And if you're not catching anything, that's alright. I still have time to talk because there are a couple of more things. Skill tree, obviously. But then one thing that I forgot, and that is changing hooks on the lures. Because especially with these cheap ones, and let's get to it right now, especially with these cheap lures, there's hooks on them, treble hooks by default. They're not that good of a quality. They can break, they can snap. They're not as sharp. It's harder to set the hook with. Fish can more easily spit them out. So what you need to do is, actually, let's run down to the store. We'll get back to this place or another spot in a bit and then try some more fishing. And my apologies for that very loud noise in the background. One of my neighbors is coming home. There we go. Yeah, I know you're home. Open throttle again. Okay. So, yeah, let's move to the store. Should have done this in the beginning, but I forgot. Here we go. Tackle store. Hooks. You got to scroll all the way, well, almost all the way down. Here we go. And then here we have the hooks. So we noticed we had a hook with the yellow skirt. Here we check quality 2 stars. Not the best out there. Then we'll also have spoons and spinners with just this one, skirtless one, which is a 101, and that one too has only 2-star quality. Now, if you want to increase it, get yourself like these. These are good to start with. You still lose fish from time to time. They're 3 quality stars. But you'll lose a lot less when you try to set the hook. So these are good to start with. Then over here, these ones as well. These are 4 stars actually. And then here we have, let's see, no, that one was this one, I believe. Yes, here we go. This is a 5-star rating. And here you do have a play level restriction. You need to be level 16 in order to use these. Now, they start like sizes 8 and go to 4-aught. I think by default on most of the lures, you will actually have a size 4. Let's check it here. 1-aught. I was completely wrong there. Yes, 1-aught. Okay, then it's the hypnotic spoons. Here, these tiny spoons, those are size 4 though. Size 2 on that one, and here size 2, and on spinner we have size 1. Obviously, the bigger the hook, the more chance you have in hooking a bigger fish. On the other hand, sometimes, even with big hooks, you can catch really tiny fish. So even on like the big 4-aught hooks, you'll still be able to catch like a 28-gram perch. They'll do that to you. And also sometimes hook can actually be a bit too big for the species that you're targeting. They don't have that big of a mouth. Some of them don't. So then try to tune down on the hooks. Okay, so let's quickly go on to here. Spin fishing. What points do you need to start investing in first, or what perks? Fishing with a spinning rod. Max this one out. Put it all the way on 7. It helps you with your casting distance. That's not so much the point. Accuracy, that definitely is something that you want to go after, because with spin fishing you want to target certain spots, and the more accuracy you got, the better it gets. And then this one, this is the huge one. Control the fish, plus 3% for each point that you put in it. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second there. And then here it's plus 6%, plus 9, plus 12, plus 15, plus 18, plus 21. Then after you maxed out this one, put a couple of points in your spinning reel. You can max it out if you want to have a better accuracy and casting distance. Not highly needed, but I would definitely put like 2-3 points at least in it. After that, put points in spoons and spinnerbaits, put like 1 point in this one. Wobblers, I would actually advise to put 2 points or 3 points in it. Top wobbler, you definitely want to have all 3 points in that one. And then with the rigs, put like 1 or 2 points in that. It helps you in attracting trophy fish, being able to control the big fish, and just being able to control like fish in general. So you will have more chance of hooking fish and catching them. And with this, it's not like if you put points in it there will be more fish spawned. Don't get me wrong, there won't, but you have a better chance in catching the fish that are out there. So okay, those are the points. Now let's see if we can at least catch one on spinning. Otherwise I look like a complete fool. I see it's currently 7. We are going to one more spot here on Mosquito that I like a lot. It's next to the campsite actually. But at least I can show you guys how to battle a fish as well. Now here we have several dead logs in the water. Watch out for that one. You only see a couple of branches, but there is a whole tree trunk attached to it. And we got some more dead logs over here. Then we got weeds and lily pads and reeds and another log over there. So mind those places. There you can see the outlining again. Right there. And here it goes on further. So watch it. Oh, wrong button. Here we go. Let's try it a couple times from this side, and let me set speed to 22, casting out all the way there, and there it is. One line is tight now, good. Ooh. To eat. Two. Getting close to 8 in the evening now. Should be there. Okay. Get a little bit closer here. Spot. And then we just have to lift up our rod to move past that. Let's see. Oh. Now make sure you don't set your drag too high. I prefer to have my drag around 15. Nope, we don't. Normally, right mouse click if there's a fish on. Would have set the hook a bit better, but now it just jerked up. And there's one thing I've not done yet, and I've not talked about yet, which is trolling. But I am saving that topic. Should we have? Saving that topic for another video. I want to cover the boat and all that there is to it in a separate video. This one's already on 40 minutes. Not make it too much longer. Give it a couple of more tries. So it doesn't get stuck. There we go. Ooh, personal record. Nice. Now, I think we got snapped. Yes, there we go. Now, what can you do with this? So this is actually good. I can show you guys how to deal with it. You see that we have already some stress on it. If we were to do a jerk now by pressing right mouse button, we actually might put too much stress on it. So what we need to do first, open up the bill, and only then try right. Let's click. Didn't get a free this time. And there we go. Now, if we didn't succeed there, and after a while you still do not succeed, what works is instead of trying to jerk it free from this angle, try to get to the other side of where the snag is, and then try to jerk it in that direction. So we were snagged here, we jerked it in this direction. If we couldn't break free of it, we should have jerked it in that direction. If all that fails, Alt F4 out. That is the best advice I can give you guys then. You do not want to break your lure, break your line, lose your lure, get out of it. Alt F4 out, it's perfectly fine, even though you'll break immersion. If you don't want to break immersion, then it's totally fine to just play along and either break by pressing X. That will break your line. You will lose your lure. And you will lose your leader at this stage, by the way. But if you do not want to have that, if you don't want to lose your lure and having to spend more money on getting yourself a new one, then Alt F4 out and then log back into the game and you'll be fine. Okay, let's try it one more time. It's been out. But keep an eye out on the weather. Keep an eye out. Because now currently it's not bright sunny anymore. Let's cast you out. There we go. Let's see. Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second again. I'm having coughing fits today, so that's why. And I need a little bit of water. Still something left here, yes. On fish. I guess it's not my lucky day today. No, that ass fish out there. But it's attacking. Oh, look at that one. He jumped on last second. Perch. Here we go. So increase the drag a bit. There you go. Ooh. He caught our first fish on spinning. Well, there you guys go. There you go. So like I said, it's harder. It's spin fishing, and particularly in the beginning, because there's so much stuff that you need to learn. Not just also game-wise, like you need to build up your skill. You can only do that here. You're spin fishing by obviously catching the fish, but you also got to learn to keep a good eye out on the weather. Particularly when you move to, say, Kaori, weather changes that a lot. It goes from rainy to cloudy to sunshine to cloudy to sunshine to all of a sudden rain again, and it affects it so much. Now, there are some other factors as well. Wind direction, for instance. Wind determines where the food goes. That in turn determines that the sheep fish, so to say, will move to that place as well. And that determines that the predators, obviously, they follow their own prey and they will move too. So wind also is a factor. I'll make a separate video about that someday in the future. But here you go, guys. So these are the basics of spin fishing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like. Do not forget to subscribe. Actually, make a print screen of that one. And if you got any questions, feel free to leave them down below. For now, though, thank you all so much for watching, and hope to see you in another video again of Russian Fishing 4. Bye bye.